in Germany that seems to have swallowed a piece of Roman history. Near the Saalburg Roman fort, an old stone plaque is slowly growing into the trunk, and the inscription on it takes us back almost 1900 years, to the frontier of the Roman Empire. This is the Saalburg Roman fort, located near Bad Homburg, not far from Frankfurt am Main. Today it looks peaceful. A reconstructed fort surrounded by forest, walking paths, museum buildings, and quiet green hills. But almost 2,000 years ago, this place stood near one of the most important frontiers of the Roman world, the Germanic limes. A long border system of forts, watchtowers, roads, walls, and ditches. It marked the edge of Roman power in this part of Europe. On one side, there was the Roman Empire. Roads, soldiers, discipline, taxes, orders, and military control. On the other side, there were the lands of Germanic tribes, forests, settlements, and territories Rome never fully controlled. The limes was not simply one huge wall. It was more like an ancient security network, a chain of forts, towers, roads, and observation points. Inside the fort, life was practical and strict. There were barracks, storage buildings, workshops, offices, and places for daily military routines. Soldiers repaired equipment, stored food, trained, received orders, and waited. But around forts like this, civilian life also grew. Where there are soldiers, there are traders, craftsmen, food sellers, families, workers, bathhouses, small settlements. So Saalburg was more than a military base. It was a small Roman world in the middle of the Taunus forest. But there is one important thing to understand. The Saalburg we see today is not completely original. The ancient Roman foundations were real, but the modern appearance of the fort is a reconstruction. It was rebuilt around the end of the 19th and beginning of the 20th century during the time of the German Empire. The project was supported by Kaiser Wilhelm II. So this place is interesting in two different ways. It shows us the Roman frontier, but it also shows us how Germany, many centuries later, imagined and rebuilt the Roman past. It is history looking at history, a Roman fort restored through the eyes of a much later empire. And this brings us back to the old tree. Near the wall of Saalburg, there is a tree that looks very much like an old oak. Its exact age is difficult to say without a proper study. But judging by its size and shape, it could easily be more than 100 years old. Maybe even much older. At its base, there is that stone plaque. And the most interesting part is that the plaque looks as if it has grown into the tree. Or the tree has grown into the plaque. Nature and history are slowly becoming one object. The text on the plaque refers to early defensive remains of the cohort fort. It mentions an earlier fortification line connected with construction around the year 135 AD. So this little detail tells us something important. Under this ground, there were traces of an older defensive structure, a much earlier phase of the Roman fort, and now, centuries later, the memory of that place is marked by a stone plaque partly embraced by a living tree. For me, this is one of the most powerful details of Saalburg. Not only the big gate, not only the reconstructed walls, not only the museum, but this quiet corner. A tree, a stone plaque, a half-hidden inscription. Something many visitors might walk past without noticing. And yet, it connects several layers of time. Roman soldiers almost 1900 years ago. Sometimes history does not shout. Sometimes it just stands quietly beside a tree, half erased, half hidden, and still waiting to be noticed.